Hello, I'm getting ready to open up the Magical Readathon Chapter 3. I did manage to catch up after being a little late to finish Chapter 1 last week. It is Sunday and I've just finished all of my prompts from Chapter 2. You can watch that vlog, I will link to it below. And now it is time to click Aloha Mora and go into Chapter 3. There is already a book I have to read this week anyway, because I've got my book club on Saturday or on Sunday, someday, and we're reading 10th of December by George Saunders, which is a short story collection. So hopefully that will fit one of the prompts. If not, I just have to read that one anyway. But other than that, let's see what I get from this readathon. So in Chapter 3, I am waking up in Hogwarts. There's 3 things happening at once. Quidditch practice, the dueling club meeting, or Nearly Headless Nick's 500th death day party. I'm gonna go to that one. And I have my first prompt, read a paranormal book, or a book that has ghosts. Christ. I'm not sure I want to read a ghost story. Paranormal book. So at the party, do I want to talk to Moaning Myrtle or Nearly Headless Nick? I want to go talk to Myrtle. Ah, I got a second reading prompt. This is my first time having 2 from 1 chapter. The prompt is to read a book where a girl is the main character. Well, fantastic. Most of the books I like reading are about girls anyway. Ooh, okay, so now there's a callback to Chapter 2. It's asking, in Chapter 2, did you get detention? And yes, I did get detention for crashing into the Whomping Willow. Oh my god, I've got a 3rd reading prompt. Balls. Especially as this week I'm out every single night, so I'm not gonna have much time for reading. The prompt here is to read a book that has a dedication at the start of it. Okay, a lot of books do. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened, enemies of the air beware. Oh my god, this whole thing is so well done. I should have been recording my screen to show you, but I didn't. You should just go and do the Magical Readathon yourself, because it's just incredible how good this looks right now. So I've entered Chapter 3. Underneath the sign that says the Chamber of Secrets has been opened, everyone's gathering around, I'm the first on the crime scene, so I'm in a lot of trouble. So firstly, does 10th of December fit any of those? It's a collection of short stories, so it's not like there's a main character. And are any of them paranormal? I don't think there's any ghosts in it, which is frustrating, because the book that George Saunders, his first novel that he's most famous for, is Lincoln in the Bardo, which is all about ghosts. This one isn't. Okay, so the first story that I've just opened is about a teenage girl. So can I say that that counts as the main character being a girl, because she's the main character of at least one of the stories? I'm gonna say that counts. Come on, that has to count. Mainly because it literally has to, because I can't read 4 books. God, getting out of bed this morning was a proper struggle. The morning's just so dark now and I'm so sleepy all the time. And I can't even think when is the next time I'm not gonna have to wake up to an alarm. I just want to sleep all the time. But I'm up, it's Monday, time for my final week at work before Christmas, which is great. I have about 50 minutes till I have to read the house, so I'm going to drink my Christmassy tea of the day and start reading 10th of December. Here's something that's cool. The audiobook of 10th of December that's on Scribd, that I'm just about to start listening to, is narrated by George Saunders, the author. I always love it when authors narrate their own work. So I wasn't sure I would like short stories because I never usually get on with short stories, but in last week's vlog I read 100 Nights of Hero, which was a graphic novel but basically was like a collection of short stories, and I absolutely loved it. And now I'm reading 10th of December by George Saunders, and again, absolutely loving it. I've genuinely really enjoyed every single story I've read, so that's great. I did then get a little bit too drunk to read. That's honestly been like the last 2 weeks of my life, but it's Christmas, so what are you gonna do? So now I'm walking home. I've just said goodbye to one of my best friends. She's just gone back to Australia. Rather, she's going tomorrow morning, but I've just said goodbye to her. That's devastating. But what I'm gonna do now is, I hate walking home. The bus, all the buses are finished. I'm too tired. But this is what my lovely Australian friend taught me, is this little rhyme for when you're walking home, so that's what I'm going to do now. I left my wife in New Orleans with 25 kids and their cannabis. I thought I was right for my country. No! That was the only time that's ever happened. Hippo was just lying on me in the cutest way, and Hippo never does that because she's so withholding, and she was doing it, how long was that, like half an hour? She was literally lying in my arms for like half an hour, and then finally I whispered to Archie, go and get the camera, take a video of how cute this is, and that little tiny little bitch instantly left. I can't believe she left after all that time. Oh my god, most stressful start to a morning. I slept really badly last night. I was basically awake for most of the night, except for the bit when my alarm was going off and I was actually supposed to be getting up. So now, oh that's loud. You probably can't even hear me. Now I'm super late for work. I'm running and stressed. I have been in this booth all afternoon. I just edited 4 videos in a row, so my eyes are fried. It's nearly time for me to go home. I still have a little bit of work I need to do on the train, but I should be able to spend most of that time reading 10th of December, which I'm absolutely loving. I'm off to a Christmas dinner tonight, my first Christmas dinner of the year. This is my first morning in basically a full week where I haven't woke up hungover. It's such a nice feeling. I'm still fucking exhausted. Getting out of bed was really hard, but I'm sober. What a treat. So I'm gonna snuggle up. What even day is it? I keep losing track of the days. I missed my tea from yesterday and that one looks delicious. Wild apple and cinnamon. And then the tea for today is matcha green. Okay, I'm gonna take one of these to work and I'm gonna sit and have one of these now. Christmas feast, Christmas girls! This is honestly the best spread ever. I just ate so much food, it's genuinely quite hard to breathe. It was such a good feast though. So I finished 10th of December on the way into work this morning, really enjoyed it. Like the stories were quite weird and I think as it went along I enjoyed some of them probably less. Like some of the earlier ones captured me a bit more. But they were all great, they were all really interesting and unusual and I'm really excited. I've got my book club on Sunday, so we're going to chat about it then. So, today I didn't read at lunchtime, so I went and got my nails done and was sparkly ready for Christmas. And now, I need to pack my suitcase to go home for Christmas because I'm out tomorrow night, so I can't do it then. So, the next book I'm going to read for the readathon prompt is, it was a book with a dedication. I decided I felt like something really fun and soppy and easy. I wanted to read To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So I checked, it does have a dedication in the physical one. It's dedicated to her sister, but I've got the audiobook on script. So I think I'm going to listen to that now while I pack my suitcase. I hate packing, but it's quite exciting packing to go home for Christmas.
Josh, who loves you more than any boy has ever loved a girl.
Bloody hell, I am tired. I stayed up for hours last night just listening to the audiobook for To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which is hilarious because usually audiobooks really struggle to keep my attention. I can read them like if I'm reading the physical version as well, then I can switch to listen to the audiobook for a little bit at a time before I just lose focus. But To All the Boys I've Loved Before is just keeping me gripped. So I listened for hours and hours and hours last night, which was great, which was really fun. But I mean, I didn't do any sleeping and I'm now so tired. My alarm went off this morning and it felt like I was in like an inner circle of hell. But I'm going into work today for my last day in the office, which is very exciting. I am working tomorrow, but I'm working from home. So this really does feel like signing off for Christmas. And I always get that like school holidays thing at the end of Christmas at work. Because I guess like it's the only time of year when everybody is going for a week and a half, so it feels like a proper end of term. So yeah, I'm gonna get my sleepy eyes off the sofa, listen to more To All the Boys I've Loved Before as I go into work, and smash it out for the last day. And I've left the office for the last time in 2019. So much fun. Now I'm in a big rush. I got home really quickly, just had to like tidy the house, do some laundry, turn right around. I'm going to a party tonight. So working tomorrow is going to be fun, but at least I'm working from home so I can do it in my bed. I am absolutely loving To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and perfect timing, the trailer just came out for the sequel, P.S. I Love You. So I watched that trailer maybe 6 times in the office. I'm so excited because I loved that first movie so much and I was so in love with Peter Kavinsky, but now from that trailer I'm like, oh my god, what's his name? John Ambrose McLaren also looks amazing. His smile, I just watched on repeat. So this movie is going to break my heart. I don't know what happens. I don't know who wins this love triangle. I don't want to know. I don't know how I'm going to avoid spoilers until I've read that far. But anyway, I'm so invested. It feels like such a great time to be reading this book. I will say how much I'm loving the book. I prefer Peter's character in the movie. I feel like in the book, he's great. I don't dislike him, but he's more of that kind of stereotypical, the type of love interest I always grew up with, where they're like kind of a dick, but they slowly like learn through like meeting the main girl, she changes him and becomes a better person. Whereas in the movie, I felt like it was really groundbreaking. It was kind of like saying to teenage girls, you don't have to put up with that, you don't have to take these like dick guys and turn them into something passable, because Peter Kavinsky in the movie is just like a delight from day one before he even falls in love with her, and also he falls in love with her super quickly, which is funny, but he's just like charming the whole way through. So I preferred that rather than this, which is the kind of the one we've seen before. But I'm still really liking his character. I really like Josh. One thing that made me laugh is I looked up on Goodreads today some of the reviews, because people love this book, but so many people had said the one thing they really hate about Lara Jean, her sisters, is that they seem really like babyish to them, and a big thing was that they call their parents mummy and daddy, and they were like, she's 16, she wouldn't do that. I was like, I'm literally 28 and I do that. So those reviewers would also hate me. But for that reason, I love Lara Jean. And also going back to the trailer, I think that Lana Condor, who plays Lara Jean, is honestly like the best rom-com actress of her generation. She needs to be cast in everything. She has the best facial expressions. She's like the Sandra Bullock of her generation, and I'm living for that. Anyway, I'm still chatting. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep listening to that audiobook on the train, on the way to the party. I'm also gonna go, I've got the voucher here for Taco Bell that I got from the cinema, so I'm gonna go via Taco Bell, get myself a Crunchwrap Supreme for just £3, which will help with my budget, but will not help with how generally shit I'm feeling from all of the terribly unhealthy food I've been eating. But what are you gonna do? It's Christmas. I just gotta keep this up for another week, and then I can try maybe eating a vegetable, maybe. Nice and hungover after a bizarre Christmas party last night involving beer pong and wrestling. And now it's my last morning at work, so I'm going to put the Christmas tree lights on and work cosily there. And I'm done, I'm finished with work, and I am leaving the house for Christmas. I'm leaving this one behind, he's not invited. I'm taking this one, she is invited. I don't even have to bring a suitcase because he's gonna bring it. All I have to do is listen to my audio book. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go now. We're going home for Christmas. Eva, are you going home for Christmas too? And she's home for Christmas. Just had such a cozy evening watching Miracle on 34th Street, and now I'm gonna listen to a little bit more of my audiobook while doing the Christmas jigsaw.
Ever since I got your letter, I haven't been able to stop thinking about you.
Good morning. I finished All the Boys I Loved Before last night, and I loved it so much. I really want to go straight on to the sequel, but it is Saturday today. I need to finish the ghost story prompt by tomorrow. I had an idea, seeing as it's Christmas, a ghost story I should read should be A Christmas Carol, because I've never actually read that one before. I thought my parents would have it, because they've got such a big book collection here, and they've got some Dickens books, but they don't have it, but it is on Scribd, so I'll read it on there. Maybe I'll read that right now before I can quite get the energy to get out of bed. I think it's like a novella. I think it should be pretty short. Let's see. Hey, look what I found downstairs. A really old, there were tons of these. It was like volumes and volumes of all of the works of Charles Dickens. And there's one devoted to the Christmas books. So Christmas Carol is in here. I'm gonna sit right here on my sofa and read this. I'm a little bit too nervous to bring this very old precious book into a bath, especially one that is rainbow coloured and smells like lavender. So I'm going to read the Scribd version of A Christmas Carol just while I'm in there. My advent calendar tea of the day was a chai tea, so I'm going to make that now and read some more of A Christmas Carol. I tried listening to the audiobook of A Christmas Carol last night. Now that I knew I was so gripped by the All the Boys I've Loved Before one, I was like, maybe I've cracked it. I figured out how to pay attention to audiobooks, but no, right back to not being able to pay attention at all. It was just something about that All the Boys I've Loved Before one. So I'm going to read the physical version of A Christmas Carol, cosily by the fire, and then I've got my book club in like 15 minutes, which I need to Skype into, where we're talking about 10th of December. And it's Sunday. I lose track. The second I come home for the holidays, I completely lose track of what day is what. But I've realised it is Sunday today, which means that as long as I finish A Christmas Carol in the next few hours, which I will because it's very short, I'm perfectly on track for the next chapter to open. My parents have all these mugs with different nicknames on them. You choose which one to give people. My favourite one every time I hear is Glamorous Granny. I always get that one for myself.
When the clock is striking 12,
Hello.
when I'm fast asleep, down the chimney broad and black, with your pack, your queen.
Puzzle's coming along nicely. Thank you. And I finished A Christmas Carol. I feel all cheery and festive now. Absolutely loved that. Also had no idea that Charles Dickens was such a jokester. The beginning of that book was genuinely really very funny. And then after that it got quite scary, and then it got really sweet. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So that means I have officially finished all of the prompts for this chapter of the readathon. I'm gonna have a little break now, get ready. We're having a big drinks party tonight at my parents' house with loads of people coming. But then I will open up the chapter and see what I'll be reading next week, if there's any time for reading while all of the Christmas fun is going on.